Going on, Jerome's beautiful Wednesday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So, of course, the story yesterday, Brian Flores addressing the media, talking about the Tua Tagovailoa, terrible person. Tua going off on the Le Batard show, and I thought that we've already rehashed this yesterday, but I thought that Flo handled himself great. You could tell that he was hurt by Tua's comments. He took the high road, wishing the best for Tua, and talking about how he's learned and grown from the Dolphins' experience. Now, the detractors will say, "What's he supposed to say? He's only sorry he got called out." No, shut up. All right. So, what do you want? Like, honestly, if that's your stance, like he's in a no-win situation. Either he stands by his comments or he apologizes. He's only apologizing because he got caught. Shut up. Shut your face. And you could tell, the Dolphin situation, I'm sure, changed his life. It humbled him, right? And changing the ways that he's approached players. His year in Pittsburgh, the last 2 years here with the Vikings, and he's respected in this building, and players love him. And now, they're just setting things up now that this defense, which is already going to be really good. Already inspired by Kyrie, rest in power, and already improving as a unit. They got things together last year, and now with better personnel, they're going to get after things. But now this entire team is going to be galvanized around Brian Flores. And basically, they're going to say F you to everyone. And I can't wait, man. I cannot, honestly, this is the Flores defense this year is already a blazing inferno, but then they took one of those, chopper helicopters that fight fires, except they filled it with gasoline and just that's what Tua did. Tua fired up this defense, man. And also, you see all the comments come around. There was people who were always against Flores from the jump, mainly Dolphins fans, and people are going to support Tua blindly. I fully understand that, but I feel like everyone who's just coming into the situation cold, having very little or no backstory on Flores and Tua, they're on Flores' side, man. That's it. I mean, that's it. So I firmly believe that this is going to end up being a positive for Flores' defense, man. And also, it was great that Metellus and Harrison Phillips, two team leaders on that defense, just stood up to him at the beginning of the press conference, hey, we got his back. And after practice, this is what they said. Kevin Seifert, who is not Carl Gerbschman, spoke to Josh Metellus and Harrison Phillips after practice about flanking Brian Flores today. Metellus, we just love him, man. As I get choked up. He's been great to us. I know everybody else has their own opinion, but as long as he's been a Viking, he's been good to the team. Phillips admitted that he was initially a little more reluctant or on edge when Flores replaced Ed Donatell as the Vikings DC after the 2022 season. Donatell had fostered a relationship-driven defense. Well, how about a defense-driven defense? It would have been kind of nice. And Phillips didn't know how Flores would operate. Flores invited the defense to his house early in his tenure to begin bonding. Phillips, a statement that we always joke around is, you can't have unique results without unique relationships. And he's done a really great job at developing those unique relationships. So, hey, is Tua soft? Was Flores a little bit harder on Tua because he was a highly drafted quarterback and supposed to be the leader of the team? Did Flores want someone else at the number 5 pick in the 2020 NFL draft? I don't know. All of it could be true, but either way, we got ourselves one hell of a coach, and I mean this defense loves him, this team loves him, and it's going to be great. And also, speaking of which, so it's unfortunate that this is going to be a story for the rest of the week, and basically every current and former player or coach that's ever been around Flores, the media jackals are just going to jam a microphone in their face what was it like with Brian Flores? What was it like for you? That's what it's going to be. But I mean, what's kind of great is that, Flores obviously has his detractors. Anyone who has any position of power obviously is going to have them. But I feel like this is going to be 90-10 in Flores' favor. I think that a lot of guys are going to go to bat for Flo. It's going to be good. Jeff Wald, Fox 9. Vikings linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel, who played for Brian Flores in Miami and was Tua's teammate for 3 seasons. Quote, Brian Flores, he's the reason I'm the player that I am today. Or maybe he's talking about Tua. I don't know. Lots of interceptions in practice. Maybe that turned AVG into that monster. I'm just going to leave Tua's comments to himself. I wouldn't be here without Flores at this point in my career. Now, obviously, this is a little bit self-serving, cover your ass, because, he's working for Flores again. But also, you can always say something without saying something. and it's pretty clear that he disagrees with Tua's stance, and he's with his guy Flores. That's it, man. Well, like I said, it's going to be annoying for the next couple of days, as every single player that used to play for Flores is going to be on like those podcasts and stuff. What's a podcast? Wow. And they're going to be talking about things. But more than anything, I need the Kirk Cousins podcast talking about Zimmer. Oh, and by the way, like a lot of people, compare the situation with Zimmer and Tua, or excuse me, Zimmer and Cousins and Flores and Tua. They're not really the same. They're not really analogous. I mean, Kurt was already an established veteran. Tua coming into the league early. Fully understand that. But are they in the same ballpark? Sure, you could roll with that. Speaking of football, hey. Football's still going on. So Gabriel Murphy is a guy that we had high hopes for coming out of UCLA, but he's been dinged up with an undisclosed injury since August 3rd. So just over 2 weeks, and he's still looking to make some hay, looking to make the 53. Got paid $225K of his base salary guaranteed as a priority UDFA, and brought a ton of pressure at UCLA. But now, is it a spot where he's potentially maybe not even going to make the team? Who knows? But make the team is harsh. I think that he could be a practice squad candidate just because. The whole can't make the club in the tub thing, or does he go on the new injured reserve rules where you put him on IR and he's designated to return in the season before 53-man rosters are set? So you look at guys like Bo Richter, Jihad Ward, Andre Carter II, Owen Porter. They've all done really damn good on the edge, and especially with Richter, Porter, Carter, all rookies or Carter's in the second year. I mean, there's only going to be so many spots, especially with AVG, Grenard, Diamond Dallas Turner, Pat Jones II if he's not traded. So, I mean, Murphy's needs some work. But hopefully he can get things going this week and be good to go in that regard. Also, so speaking of all the podcasts, so Greenlight Podcast, Chris Long, also with Bo Allen, who was a fun defensive tackle for a number of years. Stupid Badger, but won't hold that against him. So Harrison Smith was on. Actually, it was a cavalcade of guests since they're making the rounds. I really love the podcasts of former players are just going around on tour, talking to their guys. It's kind of fun, man. But unfortunately, they talked about 38-7. And there was a moment late in the game where there's some fisticuffs, there some frustrations going on. So Bo Allen was talking about how he was always the tight end on the field goal unit. Brent Selleck was the wing, so they're next to each other. But generally, when you're on the wing, there's not really much going on unless the other team has a field goal block on. But Bo Allen would always get the brunt of it because he's always making contact. And Brent Selleck, apparently, former Eagles tight end, was always talking junk, and then Harrison Smith just had enough of it. I mean, it was a rough night, and so he just lit up Brent Selleck, right? And then Bo Allen, it's pretty clear Bo Allen didn't like Brent Selleck, so he got up in Harrison's grill as a matter of honor, and then Anthony Barr just came in and lit up Brent Selleck. It's kind of funny, man. It's a great interview. Go check it out, and Harrison even said, I need a backup. You get fined for this at Anthony Barr. Barr, heavily. Should have Myles Garretted him. I don't think Brent Selleck had too many fans around the league. And we looked it up. That's not the clip. We looked up. Barr actually did get fined, but not heavily. I mean, 91-15. I mean, that's probably the minimal fine for back in the day. But sports and light contact, roughing Brent Selleck. How did he get 21 dimes for roughing Stafford in 2019? What did he do? That's fine. Also, it's kind of amazing you only got fined 4 times in his career. Also, hey, no fine on Aaron Rodgers because that's just football. Bird bones, Boniva, please. Also, please have Sam Darnold be good this year. That's it, man. And we talked about how good does he have to be? He just has to be above ass. Thank you. That's it. Just be average, have a little bit of upside, and he's strung together some really great practices, and he did it again today. Well, not joint practice. But yesterday, Will Rag at Sports Illustrated. Vikings practice just wrapped up. Defense was active as always, but Darnold hit a couple of bombs too. And that's been Darnold's hallmark too. Even at the beginning of training camp when he was struggling, he would always hit a shot or two, usually to Jalen Speedy Naylor or Jordan Addison, a couple to Jefferson. But Maybe that's where his bread's going to be butter. Like maybe everything underneath is kind of touch and go, but there's one or two plays a game where he just connects deep, keeps that defense honest, man. I mean, he's got the arm, he's got the talent, but between the ears, can Darnold keep it together? Guess we'll see. Also, Raggets points out that Will Reichard was fantastic. Again, Alec Lewis. Will Reichard just went like 8 for 8. I think he hit from 58 or something. He was so dialed that he hit the metal pole in the middle of the uprights twice. Heaven. So during practice, they'll just put a center pole up in there, which I feel like they should put in the normal uprights. And if you hit it, you get double the point value. So you get 2 if it's a PAT. You get 6 if it's a field goal. Do it, man. But we said this during the live stream, just watching Will Reichard kick against the Browns. Like, even if they're on a hash, like, it doesn't just fade through the uprights. Like, it like curves and like then hits center. So this man will determine if we win a Super Bowl or not. I'm kind of loving it because he's already NFL top 100 number 1 player. I mean, hey, the players know. The players know, man. Speaking of no, so JJ McCarthy, posted on the gram, a little paid sponsorship is what it is, and of course, idiots on social media. I mean, they're all over the place, but people commenting on JJ McCarthy. If you can walk, you can play. Praying emoji, please. Get your passive aggressives out here. And McCarthy, McCarthy's a young guy. I mean, he lives on social media. That's what the kids do nowadays. But you don't have to respond to every single loser, man. I mean, maybe that's the lesson to take away from this. He responded to that, not up to me, brother. Yeah, brother. And then, knee looks fine to me. Congratulations. Pre-game, brother. And so, obviously, this is before the Raiders game. So, I don't know. Like, idiots are getting idiot. It's just ridiculous. But also what's great too is like imagine what the discourse around JJ McCarthy and the future of the Vikings would be if McCarthy didn't look good in the preseason game or didn't even make it to the preseason game. It'd be a very long ass winter. But JJ of course had that phenomenal preseason game against the Raiders. It posted 84.9 PFF grade. Highest graded amongst first round picks. But I was told that Bo Nix is the greatest thing since mayonnaise, aioli. But yeah, McCarthy looked good, and that's gonna keep us warm when the nights get cold and lonely. Stand by JJ. Speaking of quarterbacks coming off of injury, so I know that this is a Vikings channel, and I know that we talk about Kirk Cousins a lot, but he keeps popping up in ways that are hilarious to me, and frankly, it's my channel, and I'll do whatever the F I want. Anyways, but this is Vikings adjacent, some cooking nonsense, and also talk about being late 30s and also things that make me laugh. That's it. But, all right, so Blitz alerts. Falcons' new quarterback, Kirk Cousins, took Falcons teammates to the water park, and Kurt said this, quote, from his Instagram, years, decades of dreaming about a water park day during training camp, and today our dream was fulfilled. So he's having good times with his new Falcons teammates. And it's a good thing that water parks only exist in the greater Atlanta area. And it's good that Kurt finally got a contract where he can afford to take all of his teammates to a water park. Because I feel like that's something that's missing here in the great state of Minnesota is a good water park. You know what I mean? Oh, what happened? All right. Valley Fair, Soak City, which is fantastic, by the way. Hey, I would take Soak City over Noah's Ark any day. Actually, I lied. The Dells is awesome. Anyways, but yeah, Valley Fair, Soak City in Shakopee. In fact, Valley Fair off of 101 is built on a floodplain, so it's wet all the time. It's wet and swampy all the time, kind of like your mama. Anyways, but, I mean, hey, Curtis. Years and decades of dreaming about a water park day during training camp. Oh, so this is weird. So 2018 to 2023, this was open. All of this was open. So if this was indeed the dream about a water park day, years and decades, this was open the 6 years that you were here Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe the 84 million guaranteed and the 66 million guaranteed and then the 35 million guaranteed. I understand. Like, maybe that's not Valley Fair money. I don't know, man. I don't know. But, I mean, if you're Valley Fair Soak City, you just got to be like, Also, yes, I get the irony, and I think it's funny that this is Kurt Angle, who won with a broken friggin' neck. Yeah. Anyways, that's it. Vikings news dump. That's a beautiful Wednesday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.